Yesterday, I came out with an update on the OceanGate situation, the investigation that's probably going to be happening considering the potential lawsuits for the implosion. And I want to correct myself. They didn't fire one former employee, they fired two. Two former OceanGate employees voiced safety concerns years ago about the hull of the now missing vessel. Of course, that vessel now confirmed to be imploded. Another quick thing, they have, at least at this point, maybe this will change as I'm uploading the video, at least at this point, there is no photos of the debris. And we've got something else that has surfaced. So this was on TikTok. You can see somebody photoshopping in the controller that was used to control the thing, and it became a meme, and it is just ridiculous, but that is fake. The report on that is that this image has gone viral on TikTok, but of course it has been photoshopped in. It is not real. How did the Logitech controller survive an implosion? Well, it didn't. There's just so much fake stuff that goes. Honestly, I shouldn't be laughing because when we have serious events, it's going to be really bad. Like, if there is a legit serious event that happens, the amount of fake stuff through the use of AI, it's going to be crazy. So yesterday, the whole debris field photos, completely fake. Everyone buys it. I try and tell people it's fake, and now we have this. But getting back to the actual situation, warnings over the safety of OceanGate's Titan submersible were reportedly dismissed by the CEO of the company. Email exchanges with a leading deep-sea exploration specialist show in messages sent by the BBC. Rob McCollum told OceanGate CEO Stockton Rush that he was potentially putting his clients at risk and urged him to stop using the sub until it had been certified by an independent agency. Mr. Rush responded that he was tired of industry players who try to use a safety argument to stop innovation. The tense exchange ended after OceanGate's lawyer threatened legal action, Mr. McCollum said. I think you are potentially placing yourself and your clients in a dangerous dynamic, he wrote to the OceanGate boss back in 2018. In your race to Titanic, you are mirroring that famous catch cry, "She is unsinkable." In the messages, Mr. Rush, who was among 5 passengers who died when the Titan experienced an implosion on Sunday, expressed frustrations with the criticism of Titan's safety measures. Quote, "We have heard the baseless cries of 'you are going to kill someone.' I take this as a serious personal insult." So, to summarize what seems like is going on there, it seems like the CEO, Stockton Rush, who is now dead because of an implosion, it seems like he thought, people were trying to baby him and be overly cautious. The big problem is that going to these depths is so risky due to the air pressure. If you're not fully equipped, the unique thing with the Titan submersible is that it's not a sphere, and also the carbon fiber hull. People wondering, well, why would he use a carbon fiber hull? It's easier to fix, it's cheaper. All of those different reasons would be used to kind of cut some corners, and these emails are very, very damning for the practices of OceanGate. That's now 2 former employees who both voiced big concerns about the hull of Titan, and their reward for voicing concern was, guess what, you're fired. That's what happened. Now, I don't want to laugh about it, but, it does seem like both of the former employees who voiced the concern, and then we also have the aspect of it where he was quoted as saying, the CEO, that he doesn't want 50-year-old white guys. Turns out the 2 people that he fired that voiced concerns probably both fall into the category of 50-year-old white guys. So the people that you don't want could have saved you. This is so ironic and also so sad at the same time. Also, I saw a tweet. There were a few different people saying it. If you were, let's just say this implosion never happened. If you were offered a trip like this down to the Titanic, would you take it? And honestly, I think a lot of us would just take it, because you think about it, they could say, I'm sure Stockton Rush would say, we've never had any issues. It's normal. We've done this 50 times or whatever it is. We do this for a living. And I'm sure a lot of people would just go if they were given a free trip down. Obviously, that would never happen. The real sad thing about this whole situation, the 19-year-old who went down, he really didn't want to go. He just did it for his father because it was right around Father's Day weekend as a gift. Apparently, according to relatives of him, he was terrified to go down to that depth. And the only, sort of thing we can say that's at least positive, because it was an implosion, it happened so quickly. If you want a visual of it, I couldn't even give you a visual of what happened to them, because it happened so fast. It happened in milliseconds. It's not like, oh, it started to bend and then it snapped. No, it just all happened at the same time. And it busted into 1,000 pieces, and we'll see if the debris does get recovered. But it does look like the investigation into OceanGate is going to be really, really bad. The other thing I was talking about yesterday, I guess now it doesn't matter, honestly, with the whole Russia situation, because it seems like that's everyone's focus. But it was kind of surprising that this story was in the news for so long, 4 days, and the U.S. Navy, and the U.S. Navy, basically all the experts when it comes to submarines, knowing on Sunday night or Monday morning that this was a 99% chance of an implosion. I mean, I made a video. I was one of the early people in the general public to say, no, I think it's an implosion. I came out with the first video I did on this. I said it was probably an implosion like the stern. And, they kind of strung everyone along. It was a charade. Even James Cameron came out and said it was a charade. He knew on Monday that it was an implosion. He didn't understand why the rescue was going all the way around the surface. The only argument you can make is because, well, they don't have the submarine to go down to those depths and explore it. But still, it doesn't make any sense if the U.S. Navy, and there's a screenshot of what they picked up, which was the implosion right early in the morning. You do have to question what's going on there. Why not release that info to the general public? You put two and two together, it should be relatively easy. So I'm sure there's going to be a pretty significant investigation. I would say OceanGate is completely done. This is not, you're not going to recover from something like this. It's been reported, and as long as these emails are true, it is obvious that they cut corners because they thought, well, it's not going to happen to us. There's only a 1% chance of it happening. Well, air pressure kept mounting and mounting and mounting and mounting, making the hull weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. And eventually that 1% chance of happening, well, it became a 100% chance because it had weakened over time. And it is so very sad. So maybe a little bit of a life lesson, because we all do it. Oh, it's not going to happen to me, you could do certain things, but yeah, this is one of those things where you want to cut corners. You're going to get away with it for sure. He got away with it. That was back in 2018. Think about all the dives they did in 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. Absolutely. Carbon fiber hull, perfectly fine. You'll get away with it until you don't. And when you don't, it can be catastrophic. And I think that's what they were trying to warn him on. The 50-year-old white dudes that he apparently didn't want to be a part of the company. They come out and they say, look, this is something to where you don't want to play with air pressure that low. There are very few submersibles that can go that low, and unfortunately, he found out the hard way, and that's where we are at this point with a total implosion. So guys, that is the update on the Titan. We'll have to see if the debris field ends up getting released. The only thing that I was interested in was, did the debris fall on top of the Titanic? Turns out it's about 1/3 mile away, I believe was the report from the Titanic, so no. And I would imagine much of the debris is rather small. Maybe there's a few bigger pieces, but the implosion is just going to blow it into 1,000 different pieces. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description.